So hello, in case you don't know me, I'm Mariska with the Neuro Studio, and I'm obsessed with gait exercises. Honestly, it's the number one thing I do, but also it's the number one thing I need to do because I have had MS for, let's see, diagnosed in 2002 and then probably since 1999, so do the math, we're at like 26 years, which a lot of things can go wrong in 26 years, so we do a lot of practicing the elements of gait to help make walking easier. So today we're going to be talking about thoracic rotation. So thoracic rotation is how your mid-spine moves when you walk. So when you're taking a walk, your spine moves kind of along with the leg that's in front. And then at the same time that that's happening, so you have your spine moving and your leg going forward, your pelvis, so that's like this big bone here, is actually going to move in the opposite direction. I think it's very hard to work on all of the pieces of gait put together because there's so many of them. So today we're going to work on the pelvis moving around a leg staying still, and then we're going to work on the thoracic spine moving, and we're going to kind of put the pieces together. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find what we call a split stance. So a split stance is my favorite thing because a split stance is what we do when we're walking. So if we were going to take steps, we're not going to be doing it in this position unless we're hopping forward like kangaroos. So we're going to take one foot forward. I'm going to do my right foot forward. My left side is my MS affected side. So it's easier for me to start on the right. So with the right foot forward, the first thing I'm going to want to do is send my butt back a little bit, coming into a little bit of a hip hinge. That's actually because we want to work on the strength of our glute, which we can do simply by putting our body weight in a specific position. Plus, a lot of times when we walk, if we have walking difficulties, we have a tendency to lean back, which actually makes walking harder, not easier. So we're going to take our entire torso as if it's one piece, and we're just going to move it forward. So that means your chest moves closer to the ground with your head along with it, but your butt moves backwards. And that all happens in one piece. If you want to measure it out, you bring your index finger to your chin, your thumb to your sternum, move that as one piece. You can take your thumb, keep it on your sternum, bring your index finger to your ribs, move that as one piece, and then kind of walk it down so you just make sure you're moving everything as one piece. The front leg's got a little bend in it, and then you're gonna just shift your weight forward the tiniest little bit. I find it really helpful for me to look in a mirror, so you can also look in a camera if you're watching yourself in a camera. So we're gonna take that right leg, and you want to make sure that you're feeling your right leg a little bit. And all we're going to do is take our left leg and open it up a little bit, and we're opening our leg by moving our pelvis. But the right leg is staying put. And then we're going to move our pelvis back to where we started. And you want to keep the weight feeling like it's the same in that right leg. So weight is in the right leg. You're going to open your pelvis like you're just spinning around your right leg and foot, and then bring it back to center. Now, sometimes what we do when we do this is we actually do a little side bend action, which we don't want. So bring your thumbs onto your ribs and your index fingers onto the bony parts of your pelvis. And then when you rotate, you want that to basically stay the same. So we're rotating open and then closed. Rotating open and then closed. Rotating open and then closed. You can also think about your back foot, like if you want to concentrate on your back foot. Imagine you smoked, hopefully you don't, because that's not cool anymore. But if you were smoking and you're putting out a cigarette, you kind of move your leg, but we want to move your leg by moving your pelvis. You might think about it as your hips. It's really your pelvis, so that's what we're really moving. So now I want you to stand up a little bit taller, and we're going to do the same thing, but we have less kind of feedback of that heaviness in the right leg, because when we're walking for real, it's more in this position. So you're going to take your pelvis and rotate it. And you might even try now, when you move your pelvis back, let's try taking your front knee forward some. So it's like your knee is traveling over your foot a little bit, and then back. Knee is traveling over your foot a little bit, and then back. Knee is traveling over your foot a little bit, and then back. Let's do 4 more like this. 2, 3, and last one like this is 4. So if you were looking at yourself in the mirror, ideally you would see that this front leg, it moved forward when we bent our knee more, but it didn't move in sort of a catty corner type way. It wasn't like your knee was moving out or in, or at least that's the goal. So for this one, I'll turn a little bit more so you can maybe see here. So this is my MS affected side. So I might need to hold on to something if I feel like my balance is getting a little bit off. So we have our body, again, we're going to take into that hinge. So I have to be on the toes of my back foot just so I have some room. And I'm going to take everything together in one piece, bring it closer to the floor as my butt slides backwards. Always think about, like, if your torso is a Barbie doll, you are taking the Barbie torso and folding it down. Barbies don't have a pelvis that can move around the leg though, so that part doesn't count as much. So make sure you feel more weight in the front leg, hands on your hips, and then you're going to take your left part of your pelvis forward, the right part of your pelvis back, and then you bring it back to center. So you can also be looking at that front leg, making sure it doesn't look like the front leg is moving in space, meaning that when your leg opens, your knee isn't dropping in or isn't dropping out. I could make my knee drop off if I wanted to. And then to make sure you're taking it all together in one piece, you're going to bring your index fingers to your pelvis, your thumbs to your ribs. Make sure everything moves in one piece, and then back. Everything moves in one piece, and then back. Move it in one piece, and back. Let's do like 4 more here. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Only change is we're going to stand up a little bit straighter, and then we're going to see kind of what it feels like. We might not feel like we can move as much because we've sort of locked our pelvis in a little bit kind of straighter position. But you can also see if you can get your front knee to travel forward over your foot when you do this. For me, this is actually really hard on this side because I have like a joint contracture in my left ankle from muscle spasticity and foot drop for 20 some years. So I'm going to hold on to something because it just makes me feel a little off balance to try to have my knee travel forward because my heel wants to lift up when I do that. But see if you can get your knee to go a little bit forward while you're adding that rotation. Let's do like 4 more here. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now after every kind of main exercise we do, I want you to take it for a test drive, which means I want you to see if it feels different or easier to walk after you do it. If it feels easier to walk after you do it, this is considered like a winning exercise for you. So this is one that your body likes, either because it tunes into it really well or it's something maybe that you need. I'm like walking a little forward and backwards. I know that this is a winner for me. I also know that the next one is more of a winner for me than this one. So the next one is exactly what we just did, except on top of it, we're going to add that our upper body is going to rotate in the opposite direction, so our thoracic spine moves counter rotation to our lower body. So same start position, you have your right leg forward, you have your left leg back a little bit, take the entire situation of your upper body, and you're just gonna hinge it forward. So butt back, chest, head, belly button, ribs, everything sort of towards the floor. So we're gonna start by taking your pelvis to the left, but I'm gonna have you bring your hands kind of out. Let's do straight arms in front of you, just because I can visually, it'll make sense. So as your pelvis moves to the left, I want you to row your arm to the right, your right arm, and twist the slightest bit towards it and bring it back to center. Twist and back to center. It's literally the same exercise in your lower body. We are just adding a movement for your upper body to do at the same time. Now, this is actually a really nice thing to do if you have like a spring or a weight or like a band that you could pull, because you'll feel like you can get a little bit more kind of oomph. Because I have a band, I can show you. So if we're here and you have your pelvis moving this way and you're pulling to the side, it's just a little bit easier to both move your pelvis to the left and pull your upper body to the right. And literally tie a band around a heavy piece of furniture. That one will work out totally fine. So you don't have to think about it. Left pelvis, right chest. Left pelvis, right chest. Left pelvis, right chest. Left pelvis, right chest. Then we're going to stand up a little bit taller. And then we're going to do left pelvis, right chest, trying to have your knee maybe travel a little bit forward, right knee over right foot. And if I had a good mirror here, I would be looking in it to see if my knee is tracking directly over my foot, and I just kind of am hoping for the best right now. Okay, going to the other side. So we have left foot forward, right foot back, hands on your pelvis or your hips, however you want to call it, and you're just going to send your chest forward, a little bit more weight into your left foot. Bring your arms forward. So this time we're going to move your pelvis to the right. So right pelvis, but then add a left row. As you turn your torso a little bit to the left. We'll do 4 more like this before we stand it up a little bit. 2. And I'm just kind of staring at a spot on the floor because that helps with balance. And then we'll stand it up, and then on this one, we're going to try to see if I can remember which side is which. We're going to do the row to the left, pelvis to the right, try to get your knee to go forward over the left a little bit, and back. Pull, and back. Right pelvis, left chest. Right pelvis, left chest. Right pelvis, left chest. You could also be holding a band, like a TheraBand right in front of you, and just row the left side. I'm not doing as good of a job of getting my knee to go forward over my foot, mainly because it's messing up my balance and I'm not holding on to something here. Let's call that it. Test drive the walking to see if, now that we've added a little bit of your upper body rotating away from what your lower body is doing, kind of want to see what that feels like. Does that feel like it's easier to walk when you do that? Or if it's harder. Now, if it got harder from what it was doing before, you could be tired, but it also could be kind of confusing your brain, in which case I would say, go back to the first one, just keep kind of going with the first one, and make that kind of a regular thing. You can always kind of move up from there and expand on the things that you're working on. But gait has so many little aspects to it, and working on the little pieces, your body can start putting them together and helping you walk better when you work on them.